Hi, my name is MaryannB. My presentation is on the short story The Yellow Wallpaper by Charlotte Perkins Gilman. This story is told by the narrator, and throughout the story there are several examples of male oppression. The narrator at the beginning of the story has given birth, and she is going through some troubling times. Her husband, being a physician, diagnoses her what he calls it's a temporary nervous break, depression, a slight hysterical tendency. Her brother is also a physician, and he agrees with this diagnosis, so she sees no reason to dispute this diagnosis. In modern day diagnosis, this would be also known, or better known, as postpartum depression. The best treatment that her husband feels that would be good for her, he calls, is the rest cure. He takes it upon himself to rent a summer mansion, and upon arrival at that mansion, he informs her that she's no longer going to be able to work or write, which it is an outlet for her, so that is actually going to be something that is going to harm her in the long run. He also informs her that he has chosen the bedroom that she's going to be staying in, even though she voices her concerns to him that she'd rather have a different room. He basically convinces her that this is for her best interest and this will help her illness, and that they're only there for her and for her to get better. The room that he has chosen is at the top of the stairs. Upon the entry of the room, she makes note that this room was previously used for either a nursery, some type of playroom, or a gymnasium. She again voices her concerns to her husband about the room. He proceeds to just tell her that, you know, this is your best interest, and you know, we're not going to change the room. When she looks around the room, she sees bars in the windows, and this is very symbolic in a sense that she's in some sort of prison type setting. She also makes note of the wallpaper around her. She states that the color is repellent and it's almost revolting. There's also a gate at the top of the stairs, which is another, it's basically the sole purpose for her confinement to that room. And that's basically what her husband is trying to get out of this. She starts spending enormous times in the bedroom by herself because her husband is gone to work the majority of the time. So she's secluded in this room. She begins to look at the wallpaper more in depth, and she starts to make notations that there's vicious influence on her, and she thinks that she sees the broken necks and bulbous eyes in the wallpaper, which crawl up and down and sideways. She gets very angry for its rudeness. The narrator describes the wallpaper as something that is living when it's clearly an inanimate object. The woman in the wallpaper, her theory is that the woman in the wallpaper, basically, she goes out during the day and then she creeps at night. So with her trying to figure out this pattern within the wallpaper, she also starts to sleep during the day, and she's up all night trying to figure out what the woman is doing and trying to figure out this pattern. After some time, this obsession really sets in. She tries to, basically, she has something to look forward to now. She's not feeling like she's completely secluded. Her ultimate goal is to figure out the pattern. She thinks the woman is actually creeping around the room and under the wallpaper. She begins to tear away at the wallpaper and to help expose the woman behind it. The obsession is completely set in at this point, and she spends all her time watching this woman, and she loses complete touch with reality. She believes, in a sense, that if she exposes this woman and she releases her, it's also a form of freeing herself from her confinement. On the last day that she was secluded in this room, she waits all day for her husband John to come back from work so she can confront him and let him know that she has reached her ultimate goal, and that is to becoming free. Her illness has now gotten to the point where she's no longer curable. To me, the wallpaper is a representation of her confinement, and the entrapment that she was subjected to was not only physically but mentally. Thankfully, nowadays, when women are diagnosed with postpartum depression, there are a lot more options available out there versus what these women were subjected to back then. Thank you.